Hello friends, a very good morning to all the students. Am I audible to all? Okay, thank you for your responses. So friends, as you are aware that in the last lecture we have started one of the important chapter, one of the interesting chapter of basic mechanical engineering. We have started the unit 7, chapter 7, that is the internal combustion engines. In the last lecture, we have understood the basic concepts related to the internal combustion engines. Also, we have understood the classifications of the IC engines. And finally, we have also understood the main components and their functions in context of the internal combustion engines. So let us proceed further and understand some more important topics of this chapter. So these are the main contents of my current session. In this session, we are going to understand the terminology of the IC engines. Remember friends, the terminology is very important in context of the IC engines because this terminology we will be using frequently in order to explain the working of the different IC engines. And also when we are solving the numericals of the IC engines, at that instant also the terminology will be very useful. After discussing the terminology of the IC engines, we are going to understand the working of the four-stroke petrol engines and the working of the four-stroke diesel engines. And finally, we are going to make the comparison between the petrol engines as well as the diesel engines. Before starting the discussion, let me ask you a simple question related to our last lecture. Can you give me the another name of the petrol engine? Can any student give me another name of the petrol engine? I am repeating the question once again. Can you give me the another name of the petrol engine? Very good. So some of the students has given me the answer, the perfect answer, that is the spark ignition engine. The petrol engines are also known as the spark ignition engines. The diesel engines are known as the compression ignition engines. Very good students. Majority of the students has given me the perfect answer in the chat box. Let us proceed further and understand the terminology of the IC engines. So friends, the terms which you are observing in this image, all these terms are very important to understand in context of the terminology. They are very easy, so kindly focus on the points which I am discussing. So the first terminology, that is the cylinder bore. The cylinder bore is considered as the nominal inside diameter of the engine cylinder, and the nominal inside diameter of the engine cylinder is called the bore. Generally, for the calculation purposes, we are denoting the cylinder bore by the alphabet, that is small d. Let me ask you a simple question. Why in the IC engines we are considering only the inside diameter of the engine cylinder? Why in the IC engines we are only considering the inside diameter of the cylinder? Very technical question. Just think on this point and then give me the answer, your comments in the chat box. Why we are only considering the nominal inside diameter of the cylinder? Very good. Some of the students have given me the perfect answer in the chat box. We need to only consider the inside diameter of the cylinder because it is the internal combustion engines and the combustion of the fuel takes place inside the engine cylinder. Because all the processes, all the combustion processes are taking place inside the engine cylinders, we need to only consider the nominal inside diameter of the cylinder. And that is known as the cylinder bore, denoted as small d. The next important terminology, that is the dead centers. Remember friends, in the IC engines there are two dead centers. The dead centers represent the boundary for the reciprocating motion of the piston. Considering the vertical orientation of the cylinder, the two dead centers are known as the top dead center TDC and the bottom dead center BDC. The top dead center TDC is the extreme position of the piston at the top of the cylinder in case of the vertical engine. And the bottom dead center BDC is the extreme position of the piston at the bottom of the cylinder. So these are the two dead centers, the boundary which restricts the reciprocating motion of the piston inside the cylinder. Now when we consider the horizontal orientation of the cylinder, the top dead center is converted or known as the IDC, inner dead center, and for the horizontal orientation of the engine cylinder, the bottom dead center is known as the ODC. ODC, that is the outer dead center. So these are the dead centers in context of the reciprocating motion of the piston and according to the orientation of the cylinder. The next important terminology, the most important terminology, that is the stroke. The stroke is the distance traveled by the piston from one dead center to the another dead center. The stroke, that is the linear displacement of the piston from one dead center to the another dead center. Now friends, I am asking you a technical question. You need to count the number of strokes. The piston moves from TDC to BDC. The piston moves from BDC to TDC. What are the number of strokes performed by the piston? Let me repeat once again. The piston moves from TDC to BDC and BDC to TDC. What are the number of strokes performed by the piston? Okay, fine. Majority of the students has given me the right answer. The correct answer, that is 2. Remember friends, the piston when moves from TDC to BDC, we tell that piston has completed one stroke. Now the same piston when moves from BDC to TDC, we are telling that piston has completed another stroke. So total strokes done by the piston, that is 2. Is it clear to all the students? How we are calculating the number of strokes? I want your responses in the chat box so that we can proceed further with the discussion of the terminology. Fine. Thank you all. So let us proceed further. The next terminology and the important one, that is the clearance volume. The clearance volume is denoted as VC. The volume contained in the cylinder above the top of the piston when the piston is at the top dead center. So as you are seeing in the image, when the piston is steady at the top dead center, the volume contained between the cylinder head and the piston head, this volume is considered as the clearance volume. And friends, let me inform you, for the better operation of the internal combustion engines, the clearance volume plays a very important role. The next type of the volume, that is the stroke volume or the swept volume. It is denoted as Vs. The stroke volume or the swept volume is the volume swept by the piston when it is performing one stroke. That means when the piston is moving from top dead center to bottom dead center, what is the volume swept by the piston? Also, when the piston moves from bottom dead center to top dead center, what is the volume swept by the piston? All these volumes, they are considered as the stroke volume or the swept volume. Mathematically, Vs can be calculated as the area, cross-sectional area of the cylinder multiplied by the stroke length of the piston. So mathematically, Vs is equal to pi by 4 d square into capital L, where d represents the cylinder bore, capital L represents the stroke length. The last and the most important terminology in context of the internal combustion engines, that is the compression ratio. It is the ratio of the volume when the piston is at the bottom dead center to the volume when the piston is at the top dead center. So friends, if you have understood this definition of the compression ratio, then I expect then this mathematical relation of the compression ratio will be perfectly clear in your minds. Mathematically, the compression ratio is equal to maximum cylinder volume divided by the minimum cylinder volume. The maximum cylinder volume, that is nothing but the summation of the swept volume and the clearance volume. The minimum cylinder volume, that is the clearance volume. Dear friends, let me ask you, have you understood perfectly the concept of the compression ratio? Because during the working of the internal combustion engine, this ratio plays a very important role. Is it clear to all, the compression ratio? I want the responses from majority of the students. I want your comments in the chat box if you have understood perfectly the compression ratio. Okay, fine. Thank you all for your positive comments in the chat box. So friends, let us proceed further and now discuss the 4-stroke petrol engine. This is one of the most important questions related to your theoretical examination. Firstly, let us understand some of the basic concepts. The 4-stroke petrol engine was invented by Nicholas A. Otto in the year 1876. Hence, the petrol engine is known as the Otto engine because the petrol engine operates on the theoretical Otto cycle. Since the ignition of the fuel occurs due to the spark, the petrol engines are also called as the spark ignition engines. That is, in short, SI engines. So in examination, they can ask you in the twisted manner such as explain the SI engine. So you need to explain the working of the four-stroke petrol engine. SI engine, spark ignition engine, four-stroke petrol engine. All these points represent the same meaning. This engine works on the Otto cycle, and we are knowing that the Otto cycle, another name is the constant volume cycle, because the combustion of the fuel takes place at the constant volume conditions in the Otto cycle. And as the combustion takes place at constant volume, it increases the pressure in the cylinder. The four-stroke engine gives a power stroke in every set of the four strokes of the piston or 2 revolutions of the crankshaft. So for completing one cycle in the four-stroke petrol engine for developing the power, we require the 4 strokes of the piston or 2 revolutions of the crankshaft. Let us proceed further and understand the working. Remember friends, since it is the 4-stroke petrol engine, there are 4 strokes taking place in the one cycle. The name of the 4 strokes are as follows. The first one, that is the suction stroke. The second one is the compression stroke. The third one is the expansion stroke or power stroke or the working stroke. Remember friends, the third stroke is having 3 different names: expansion stroke, power stroke or working stroke. And the last 4th stroke, that is the exhaust stroke. So let us understand these all the 4 strokes in detail. The first stroke, that is the suction stroke or the intake stroke. During this stroke, the crankshaft rotates from 0 to 180 degrees. The piston will be moving from top dead center to bottom dead center. Because of this movement of piston from TDC to BDC, some pressure differences will be developed inside the cylinder. So the inlet valve will be opened and the air petrol mixture, which is prepared in the carburetor, will be entering into the engine cylinder. And these all conditions, the entry of the air and petrol mixture into the engine cylinder, will be taking place at the atmospheric conditions. So as you can observe in the figure, the piston moves from TDC to BDC. The rotation of the crankshaft is from 0 to 180 degrees. The inlet valve is opened, therefore the air fuel mixture which is prepared in the carburetor will be entering into the cylinder. Once the air fuel mixture has entered into the cylinder, the piston has reached the bottom dead center, the inlet valve will be automatically closed by itself. Therefore, the air fuel mixture cannot be removed from the cylinder. Dear students, have you understood the working of the first stroke, that is the intake stroke or the suction stroke? Is it clear to all? Are you understanding the points which I am discussing? Okay, thank you all for your confirmations. So now let us proceed further and understand the second stroke, that is known as the compression stroke. In this stroke, both the valves will be closed. The inlet valve, exhaust valve, both the valves are closed. The crankshaft will be rotating from 180 degree to 360 degree. the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to the top dead center. As the piston is moving from BDC to TDC, it will be compressing the collected air fuel mixture. Because of this compression, the pressure and temperature of the air fuel mixture will be increased. And friends, when the piston is about to reach the bottom dead center, the spark plug will be giving a spark in the cylinder. Because of this spark, because of this heat energy, the compressed air fuel mixture will start the combustion. And because of this combustion, now at the constant volume conditions, the pressure in the cylinder will be reached to the maximum pressure. So friends, remember this point, compression stroke. At the end of the compression stroke, when the piston is about to reach the TDC point, the spark plug will be entering a spark into the cylinder. Because of this spark, the air fuel mixture will undergo the combustion process. Because of these combustion processes, now the pressure in the cylinder will be increased. Have you understood all the compression stroke? In this stroke, the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to the top dead center. As you can observe in the image, the arrow is shown in the above direction. Okay, fine. So we have discussed two strokes, the suction stroke and the compression stroke, and we have understood that now the combustion has been started, the gases has been developed, the piston has completed two strokes, and the crankshaft has completed one revolution. Let us proceed further and understand the third stroke, the most important stroke, that is the power stroke or the expansion stroke or the working stroke. In this stroke, again, the inlet valve, exhaust valve, both are closed. The combustion has already been started, so the products of combustion, the hot gases, are generated inside the engine cylinder. These hot gases will now force the piston to move from top dead center to the bottom dead center. As the piston is moving from TDC to BDC, these gases will get the area for the expansion, and in the expansion the pressure reduces and the volume increases. During this stroke, the crankshaft rotates from 0 to 180 degrees. Very important stroke, because the power which is generated in the engine cylinder is only generated in this stroke. That is the third stroke, the power stroke, the expansion stroke or the working stroke. Remember friends, now the interesting point, at the end of the power stroke, the exhaust valve will start the opening. Because of this opening of the exhaust valve, the excited exhaust gases will be automatically removed from the cylinder. And this removal of the exhaust gases will now result into the atmospheric pressure conditions inside the cylinder. So now we are starting with the fourth stroke, that is the exhaust stroke. In this stroke, now the exhaust valve will be completely open. The piston will be moving from bottom dead center to the top dead center. It will be forcing the exhaust gases out of the cylinder. The crank rotation will be taking place from 180 degree to 360 degree. Once the gases are removed from the cylinder, the exhaust valve will be automatically closed and the cylinder piston has reached to its initial condition. Therefore, we can tell that the engine has completed one cycle. For the completion of one cycle, the piston has performed 4 strokes and the crank has performed 2 revolutions. For better understanding, you can observe this PV diagram. This is the same diagram for the Otto cycle. Only the modification is the line 0 to 1. The 0 to 1 process that takes place at the atmospheric conditions in which from 0 to 1 the suction stroke takes place and from 1 to 0 the exhaust stroke takes place. 1 to 2 represents the compression stroke, 2 to 3 that is the heat addition, the combustion process, 3 to 4 that is the expansion process, the power stroke, and 4 to 1 that is the removal of the excited exhaust gases. For perfect understanding of the working of the 4-stroke petrol engine, let me show you this animation. First stroke that is the intake stroke, the second one that is the compression stroke. Now the spark plug is ignited, so we can observe the combustion is started, hot gases, expansion stroke, and finally the 4th stroke, that means the exhaust gases are removed from the cylinder. Again the cycle is operated. First stroke that is the suction stroke, second one that is compression stroke, third one after the combustion expansion stroke, power stroke, and the 4th one that is the exhaust stroke. So dear friends, I hope that after watching this animation, after such tremendous discussion related to the working of the 4-stroke petrol engine or the SI engine, now the concepts are perfectly clear in your minds. Is it clear to all? Because it is one of the most important questions which can be asked in your examination. Still, if you are having any doubts in this topic, you are free to message me so that I can solve your doubts. Next, now proceeding further, understand the 4-stroke diesel engine. So this engine was invented by Dr. Rudolf Diesel in the year 1892. Hence, the engine is known as the diesel engine. The engine operates on the theoretical diesel cycle. In the diesel engine, only the air is sucked from the atmosphere instead of the air-fuel mixture during the suction stroke as in the petrol engine. So the first important point to be remembered in the diesel engine, that is, in the diesel engine during the suction stroke, only the atmospheric air will be entering into the cylinder. Next important point, in the diesel engines, there is no spark plug required for igniting the fuel mixture. And in the diesel engine, in place of the spark plugs, we are using the fuel injectors. The fuel is injected and finally it undergoes an explosive mixture which ignites spontaneously under the high pressure, high temperature conditions. And because of this compression of the air-fuel mixture, increasing the pressure temperature conditions, the self-ignition of the fuel, the diesel engines are also known as the compression ignition, that is the CI engines. Also, the diesel engines, they work on the diesel cycles. The diesel cycles are also known as the constant pressure cycle. That means the combustion of the fuel takes place at the constant pressure conditions. Let us proceed further and understand the working. The strokes, the names of the strokes remains the same. The first one, the suction, second is the compression, third one is the expansion, and fourth one is the exhaust stroke. Let us understand the working, the simple working, very easy to understand. During the first stroke, the suction stroke, when the inlet valve is opened, only the atmospheric air will be entering into the engine cylinder. That means it is observed in the figure, only the air is entering into the engine cylinder. The piston moves from TDC to BDC, the crank rotation 0 to 180 degree. When the air has filled in the cylinder, the inlet valve will be automatically closed, so air cannot be removed out of the cylinder. Now in the second stroke, the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to top dead center, so it will be compressing the air. Because of this compression, the pressure, temperature of the air will be increasing. When the piston has reached the top dead center, the injector will be spraying the diesel fuel in the form of fine atomized spray. Several bubbles of the diesel will be entering into the cylinder. They will undergo the chemical reactions with the compressed air, and the bubbles will start the combustion by itself. Therefore, we are telling that in the diesel, the auto ignition takes place. And because the ignition takes place by means of the compressed air, the diesel engines are also known as the CI engines, compression ignition engines. Dear students, it is clear to all the second stroke, that is the compression stroke, and how the combustion of the diesel takes place. Is it perfectly clear to all? I want your responses in the chat box so that I can proceed further with the discussion. Still, whenever you are referring these points, if you are stuck at some point, I inform you that you are free to ask me, you are free to call me. The third stroke, that is the expansion stroke or the power stroke. Now we already know that the combustion has started, the hot gases are produced. So the hot gases will force the piston to move from TDC to BDC. The crank rotation will be moving from 0 to 180 degree. The power is generated, expansion process takes place. Now at the end of the expansion process, some percentage of the exhaust valve will be automatically opened. So the excited exhaust gases will be removed out of the cylinder. In the fourth stroke, that is the exhaust stroke, the piston will be moving from bottom dead center to top dead center. The exhaust valve completely open, so the piston will force the exhaust gases to be removed out of the cylinder. The crank rotation will be from 180 to 360 degree. Very easy to understand, only some points of the difference in context of the petrol and diesel engines. If you are remembering, then it is very easy to understand the working of both these engines. So this is the PV diagram showing the diesel cycle. Only the point which is changing, that is 0 to 1. As you are observing, it is the constant pressure cycle, because the combustion, the fuel is injected at the constant pressure conditions. Now for better understanding, let me show you the animation. The blue portion represents the inlet side and opposite represents the exhaust side. So you can see the suction stroke, the compression stroke, the expansion stroke and the power stroke, and how at the end of the compression stroke, the fuel injector sprays the diesel fuel. Dear students, let me ask you, are you understanding this theory, the working after watching the animation? and correlating the theoretical concepts which I have explained to you. I want the responses from majority of the students. If you have understood these concepts perfectly, then kindly share your comments in the chat box. Okay, thank you all. So now the last point of discussion, that is the comparison between the petrol engines and the diesel engines. So first parameter, that is fuel used, but obvious in the petrol engine we are using petrol or gasoline as the fuel. In the diesel we are using the diesel as the fuel. Operating cycle, the petrol engine is the Otto or constant volume cycle. For the diesel, it is the diesel cycle or the constant pressure cycle. Charge, then in the petrol engine, the fuel and air mixture is considered as the charge. In diesel engine, the air is drawn and the fuel is injected. So friends, I hope you are understanding the point of the comparison, that is the third point of the charge. In the petrol engine, the mixture prepared in the carburetor enters through the suction stroke, that is the fuel air mixture, while in case of the diesel engine, the air is drawn and the fuel is injected by the fuel injector. The next parameter, that is fuel admission. In the petrol engine, the fuel admission takes place through the carburetor during the suction stroke, whereas in case of the diesel engine, the fuel admission takes place through the fuel injector at the end of the compression stroke. Very important point of the comparison between the petrol engine and the diesel engine. Next important point of comparison, that is the ignition system. The petrol engines we are having the spark ignition, whereas in the diesel engines we are having the compression ignition. Let us proceed further and understand some more points of comparison. Next point, that is the compression ratio. In the petrol engine, the compression ratio is very less, it is low, it is in the range of 6 to 10. But in the case of the diesel engine, since it is the compression ignition engines, the compression ratio is very high. It is in the range of 14 to 20. Speed of the engine, the petrol engine is considered as the high speed engine due to its lightweight, simple mechanical design. But when we consider the diesel engine, the speed is low because of the heavy weight. The thermal efficiency of the petrol engine is very less. The thermal efficiency of the diesel engine is more. The starting of the engine is easy. But in case of the diesel engine, the starting of the engine is difficult. When we consider the applications of the petrol engine, generally the petrol engines are used where there are the space limitations such as the bikes, scooters, etc. And the diesel engines, they are used in the buses, trucks, etc. So friends, with this, I am concluding this session from my side. I hope you have enjoyed the today's session and you have understood the points perfectly which I have discussed in this session. Thanks for watching the current session. Have a nice day. Now, if you are having any questions from your side, you are free to ask me in the chat box. Okay, friends.